What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel for another episode of In the Kitchen with Retro. Got my ingredients out there, some V8 juice. What else we got here? We got some Dr. Pepper sweet and sassy baked beans, tomato paste, that tomatoes, okra, and corn blend, some chili powder, seasoning. Yes, so I'm today in the kitchen. I got an updated chili recipe. I'm calling it my award-winning Fiesta chili, right? So that's what we're into today in the kitchen with Retro. So let's get to it. Okay, so let's get this party started here. First thing I gotta do, everything you see in this video will be the exact ingredients and amount that you'll need for this batch size. So everything I'm using, it's just a dump. You just dump it in, okay? So for this recipe, I'm using 2 pounds of ground beef. So I got these 1 pound packages, or 1 pound tubes, right? So that's the first thing I'm gonna do. I got a hot iron skillet on the stove, and we're gonna get that going first, and before I start dumping the ingredients in my slow cooker here. Alright, so get the meat in there, the ground beef in the iron skillet. Now here's a tip. It's one that I've recently adopted, okay? This is something I came up with on my own. This recipe, I always put onions in my chili, okay? This batch size calls for a, half of a red onion, okay? So this is the size of the onion I'm using, so about half of that. Now here's the point, here's the tip. I used to cook my onion, chop it up, do a rough chop, right? And I still do the rough chop. But I used to chop it up and put it in my ground beef as I'm frying it in the iron skillet, right? I no longer do that because I feel when you do that, when you brown your ground beef, right, and you of course drain it, and you cook the onion in there, I believe that you're losing some of the flavor of the onion, because it's obviously, as you cook it and it sautés and it, softens up and the juices are extracted out of the onion, right? It's going to naturally go into that hamburger grease. So when you drain it, you're going to be losing some of that onion flavor. So for that reason, I no longer cook my cook the onion with the ground beef and the skillet. I just do a rough chop on the onion and then dump it in the slow cooker with the juices here, as you're gonna see. All right, so I got the ground beef going pretty good. Got my slow cooker on it. I've had it going for a little bit, so it's pretty good and hot. So here, first thing I'm gonna do is the V8 juice. Okay. Zoom out, so I'm like we're a little too close in here. V8, you want to make sure you shake it good. Turn it upside down because it will settle, right? It'll settle on the bottom. So you make sure you shake it good, turn it upside down and shake it good. Alright? Now, this is kind of important here because I want to make sure I get that tomato paste all worked in good. So as I dump the V8 juice here, I'm just going to dump a little bit. See, it's like this, just like enough to cover the bottom of the slow cooker there. The reason I'm doing that is because now I'm going to put in the tomato paste. So I want to make sure the tomato paste gets all dissolved and mixed in thoroughly, right? And not have we don't want clumps of it. So we don't want a big concentrated clump of tomato paste. So we want to make sure it's going to get all worked in there. So I'm going to put the tomato paste in right now. Alright, so like I said, the slow cooker is on, it's been on, so it's nice and, you know, heated up. So let's see if we can get it down in there so you can see a little better. So yeah, I'm gonna just stir that in pretty good and make sure it gets all nice and mixed in before I, you know, add some more V8 juice. I might need to add a little more right now. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I just want to make sure it gets all, you know, stirred in nice. I need to turn my hamburger here because it's, don't want it to burn, you know, it's starting to brown, so we gotta keep an eye on that. Got some Contra playing in the background, Contra NES soundtrack. Only on Retro Reviews, baby. Cooking some chili here, cooking some good food with some awesome retro video game soundtrack while we do it, playing while we do it, right? So, alright, that's meat's looking pretty good. It's not quite done yet. Okay, so just trying to bring that closer so you guys could see that. Just want to make sure that paste is getting all nice, you know, it's all nice and stirred and thoroughly, because it is pretty thick. So having the heat on, you know, and in combination with the V8 juice is allowing that to mix very nicely. I will say, just saying, looking at it, it's coming together nicely, nice and thick there. So alright, so now it's just time to start dumping, right? Gonna finish pouring the rest of our V8 juice in here. And this is a 4-quart cooker, okay? In case you're wondering. There's our tomatoes, okra, and corn mixture. Just dump the whole can in there, don't drain it. Now the beans. Yeah, these, normally my regular chili recipe is you know, dark red kidney beans, but again, this is a different recipe. It's part of my Fiesta, right? Fiesta chili recipe, so I'm just dumping these sweet and sassy Dr. Pepper baked beans. I think it's going to give it a nice taste. So yeah, between the beans and the 2 pounds of ground meat, that's going to fill that cooker up pretty much to the brim there. So that's about all the capacity I got for this vessel I'm using here today, my 4-quart slow cooker. So yeah, this batch is good for about a 4-quart capacity. And, you know, that's going to feed a family at least once, I would say, at least depending on how big your family is. But now, yeah, normally when I do my regular chili recipe, I only use 1 can of the kidney beans, dark red kidney beans. But since these beans are like smaller, I'm going ahead and using 2 cans. Plus, I don't know, just the taste, because these do have a taste of all their own, right? Yeah, these beans are like, they taste as good, so good you can just eat them out of the can, which I have done before. Alright, so that's all that. Just now need to add the onion and the ground beef when it's done. Just doing a rough chop here, so about one more there. Yep, with a good old chop and scoop. So there we go, chop and scoop. Dump it in there. Handy tool. Good old Chef Tony from years ago, the part of the Miracle Blade 3, the Perfection series. That's the one that is. Alright, my hamburger's done. So I can add it now. Just do a rough chop on the hamburger. That's my personal preference, you know. Actually, before I add and don't worry about the onions now, because you're like, well, those are pretty, the onions are together, they're chunky. Don't worry about that, because as they are heated, right, and stirred, they will loosen up and come apart. So you're not gonna have like a huge chunk of onion, so don't worry. Before I add the meat, I am going to add the chili seasoning. So yeah, just 2 packets of chili seasoning. These are just regular sized chili packets. So this is 1.25 ounces of per packet. So there you go. So two packets. That's the right amount for this size of a batch. So if you make a bigger batch, you know, then you need to, you know, add more seasoning packets accordingly. If you did double the size, if you did an 8-quart, if you did double the recipe, then obviously you would need 4 packets of chili seasoning. So yeah, I want to get the chili seasoning in there and all mixed together really good before adding the meat. That way the seasoning's not like attaching itself to the meat there. So yeah. Get that stirred in nice. It's going to give it a nice color too. It's going to darken it up a little bit. Yeah. Looks like it mixed in pretty good, doesn't it? Uh-huh. So now it's, there's a little bit on the spoon there though. There we go. Now I got it all. Yeah, there was some clumped on the spoon. Got it now, though. Alright, now it's time to start adding the meat. We'll just add the meat now, and we'll be, that'll be the final ingredient. So as you can see, this is just going to fit. Just, I couldn't fit no more in there. So I'm just very carefully, I'm shoving the meat down in so it gets all incorporated in there, so we're not spilling off the sides. So yeah, this is true. Basically, you would say the same as Dolph Lundgren's workout video he did back in the 80s. This cooking vessel's maximum potential, right? Yeah, you couldn't go much more. Maximum potential, there we go. Alright, so now it's all stirred in. Put the lid on and let the cooker do its thing. I got it set right now. We're gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna set it for 2 hours. That should be good. By that time it should be ready to eat if you want. Now for me, I like to cook it, heat it up like that, turn it off, let it cool for maybe a few hours, and then heat it back up again, because I'm trying to, you know how chili's better when you warm it up, right? It just is. So I try to simulate that on the first go around, you know. Heat it up to where it's cooked, it's ready to eat, but shut it off for a few hours, let it cool, then heat it back up again, then eat it at that point. That's just me, that's just how I roll. But I'll be back once I do all that, so it's probably about 4 or 5 hours are going to pass by before I turn the camera back on and we taste it out. Okay, welcome back. It's now several hours later, actually about probably 6 or I'm going to say 7 hours. 7 hours went by since I turned the camera off. So yeah, I let the chili cool down, then I heated it back up, so now it's on the warm setting. So I got me a grilled cheese sandwich here to go with it. So we're gonna make that in a range mate here. So we're gonna get that on the cutting board and cut it first. Actually, let's dip up the chili, give it maybe a little chance to cool, because I don't like to burn my, I don't like to burn my tongue or anything like that. All right, let's see if I can do this. Let's see if I can do this left-handed here for the camera's sake. Yeah, let's get a nice stir. You always want to stir it up from the bottom, that way it gets the heat. It's all mixed in. There we go, a couple scoops. There's the chili, that's what we're looking at right now. Smells great. I'm gonna set it there. Put the lid back on it here. Cut my grilled cheese sandwich. Got my rock and chop knife, right? So we're just gonna, rock and chop. Yeah, rock back and forth there, right? Curved blade is curved, and so here's our grilled cheese sandwich. It's still hot, still melty. That was done in the range, mate. Pretty nice, huh? Yeah, I got a pretty good scald on it there. So But let's try the chili out first by itself and see how we did. See if this really is award-winning chili, right? Yes, there's a nice big onion. Onions are pretty big chunks, but all right, let's get into it. Got to blow on it so you can get the flavor profile, not just so much heat, you know. All right, cheers. Booyah! That's some that's some good chili. I'm gonna go in again here just to be sure, you know. Oh yeah. That's some good stuff right there. Let's try the grilled cheese dipped into it. Yeah, if you haven't tried it, if you've never tried it, grilled cheese with chili, it's like the bomb, okay? Oh yeah. That's a good time right there. You know, it's been a while. I'm pointing to the stands. Crack Boo by Dr. Hobie. Yeah, I definitely like this chili recipe, right? The Dr. Pepper baked beans, that tomato and okra and corn mixture, you know, the tomato paste, the V8. It all came together beautifully, right? And I highly recommend you try this recipe. So, yeah, it's pretty simple. It's pretty easy. Just dump in the ingredients that you've seen in this video, right? That's all you got to do. But I think that's going to do it for the video. Leave me your thoughts in the comments below. Would you try this recipe? And if you do, let me know how it turns out for you and how good you liked it, right? And I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But if this is your first time to the channel, tap subscribe, then the bell, ding ding. That way you're notified when I upload new videos. So until next time, guys, keep it retro. So you know it's coming. It's been a while. I'm pointing to the stands.